There's loads of wild daffodils out at the moment here in the woodland and hedgerows. They love growing sort of underneath deciduous trees, and they're all fully out at the moment. They are narcissus, pseudonarcissus, and they are native to Britain, sort of as far up as at least Cumbria. And then sort of in the Western Europe, like Belgium, France and Netherlands and places like that. And they just look really nice. They're very distinctive with these sort of lighter coloured petals and a yellow trumpet, and they sort of generally don't usually get above kind of 6-8 inches high, and they're just really sweet. They've got them all over the place here. Here it always comes out first because it's like a south-facing inlet. So it sort of warms up, the water's warm, it's like a finger of warm water coming in here. Hello. They seem to come out here first, so it's very temperature sensitive. And they do vary each year when they come out. Some years they come out as early as February, other years they're still there in April, but it's usually kind of March they sort of come out. But if you go a bit higher up onto Dartmoor, they come out a month later. So they are very kind of temperature sensitive, and the ones behind here are always a little bit later than the ones here. And then if I planted some in areas that are north facing or quite exposed, they always come out later as well. Wild daffodils are rare in the wild because of land use change. Woods being cleared, hedgerows being cleared, herbicides and all sorts of things. So they are really, you only get them in certain places. You get them in, usually in sort of very well established woodlands in a kind of an area sort of quite close to rivers usually. But they do grow quite well away from those locations. So in here, there's some just up here on a really high and dry bank over there in full sun, doing really happily. And they sort of do really well lower down as well. They sort of grow almost anywhere. Here, sort of growing right down to the water's edge almost along here. So they're growing quite a big niche. Here you can see they do really, really well in hedgerows. This hedgerow's been gradually built over time. I think the oldest parts of it are about a decade old. And then this end here is not so old. So you see all the way along, we've got these clumps of wild daffodils, and they're really nicely established and doing really well. This little mound that divides two woodland footpaths is one of the best places they've done here. This lot, I harvest some from here every year, and they seed themselves and they grow really well. Let's see, is that the seedlings? Yeah, you see here there's a little patch of seedlings, so that when the flowers fall over, they tend to seed quite next to them, and they tend to kind of don't spread far from the parent plant. So when they grow into a nice big clump, maybe a bit bigger than that, like this one here, I'll dig those up and just separate them, and I put one back in the hole, and I'll show you how I do that in a bit. I'm probably going to dig up that clump, but if you just look over there, you can just see how many of them there are in this bit. They just look fantastic, and they're about 2 weeks, 3 weeks every year, but they're just so stunning. And the wild daffodil, or daffodils generally, make you happy when you see them. So if you're walking around and you see a clump of wild daffodils, it's supposed to make you instantly feel happy. And also because they appear just after the cold winter, or when it's still cold really, they give you hope. It's like a symbol of hope and happiness. I bought one of these cheap trowels the other day, and it just snapped on me after the first time I used it. So never buy cheap, nasty trowels. So I'm going to have to use it like this. So just get them off there. Careful I don't tread on any of the others. And what I want to do is go down, straight down, about like 3 inches away from the outside of the clump, so I don't cut any bulbs. So just like this, straight down. Ooh. Ooh. And like that all the way around, and because it's much easier when you've got a handle, and this way, and usually they're not too deep, but they can vary a lot. One down there, I think that's is that all the way around now? A bit more there, So if you pull them, they might snap off, you see. And if you just, now I can just prise it out a little bit, pull and prise, and then get my hands under there, I can feel the bulbs, and then there you are. They all come up like that. So now what I do is very carefully tease the soil off them, just kind of just gently force them apart like that. And then you can see here, there's a nice little clump there. So I'm going to put that back in the hole and get that watering in a bit as well. So put that in like that, and put all the soil around it. And then all these other ones I'm taking, get all the soil off them and separate them all out. And let's see, what have we got here? Right, so I've got a baby one there. That'll probably take a few years to flower, but most of the other ones are adult bulbs. They could take 7 years to flower from seed, and that one's probably about 3 or 4. So what's this one? A little one there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one has got 3 coming out of the same bulb, so that bulb's probably just about to split up. So that's quite a few. And then I've got these ones as well, which are all baby ones. So a few little ones there, a nice little dividing one there. So that's quite a lot. That'll be good for my new bank. Just make sure that these, just push them in a little bit, and then give them a bit of watering, and then in a bit I'll go and plant these. This is the nearest available water, so this will have to do. Just give them a little bit of water. Woo! There's a ice on there. Right, a bit of icy water. Just to make sure the ground's all nice and settled down. Alright, that's good. Alright, where did I put those other daffodils? I'll go and plant them in a bit. More recently planted bits like this little island here, the daffodils are not so established. You can see here some and here some. The top bit of the island is the oldest bit. It's been gradually sort of carved out as we cut back these layers here. But a lot of the daffodils have come out this year without flowers. Last year wasn't a very good year for daffodils, and this year they all seem to be recovering. So a lot of the clumps, like here and here and here, they're coming up without flowers. So usually there are more daffodils than this. This is another bit where they do exceptionally well. It's sort of it's nicely sheltered, and they just spread really nicely into clumps, and they seed themselves. They seem to like growing best under hawthorn, hazel and oak trees. Beech trees on their own, they won't grow under them. They will grow under beech trees if it's a mixed woodland, but they seem to do really well under hawthorn, hazel, oak and loads of other trees, but those ones best. You see here, nice big clumps of them. They are starting to go over here, and they're seeding themselves. They just look really good. Of course, daffodils are poisonous, and they're one of those sort of accidental poisonings. They're quite dangerous if you kind of mix them with onions, because they look like onions, and if you cook one like an onion and eat it, you could die. You know, they inflame your whole intestines. They give you gastroenteritis, so they're not good to eat at all. But symbolically, yeah, you can use them symbolically for like hope and happiness. Just have the flowers in a vase or look at the flowers, but yeah, you can't eat them or anything. But a lot of garden plants are poisonous, lots of wild plants are poisonous, and they are just so beautiful. When you see that first thing in the spring, just lovely. I'm going to plant these ones on this new bank we've made this year. And here I've built a bank with turf and slop, and planted some native trees here, just like as if I was planting a hedge boundary, but this is going to be a path, like a mound between 2 footpaths in the woods to make the woods seem bigger. But we'll just start this end. Whoa. And I'll just put them like so many in here, and if they're happy they will spread, and then I'll water them when I've got to water all these trees anyway, because it's got quite dry. Again, it's quite difficult without the spade, the shovel trowel handle, but not impossible. So, and just like with snowdrops, you just plant the bit that's white under the ground and the bit that's green above the ground, and Whoa. And daffodils do like to grow where there's, they will grow in the grassland as well, but they do like to be near deciduous trees or shrubs because they are like a woodland plant. So they do like to have all that organic material from the leaves. So there's one there, Ziggy, and just plant them like this. I have noticed that if you plant 3 of them, like so far apart, they tend to form a clump better. I don't know why. I think it's because the seeds, where the seed pods tangle around each other and they can seed better. I don't know why, but they seem to quite like that. But on one on its own would just be fine as well. Let's put another one here. That's so deep. That one, I think. And to break up this soil here, it's very big lumpy soil. Put that all around here. There's another one. And they do take very easily, they are very tough. Of course, when they finish flowering, just like with other daffodils, you could dig them up and just lay them out on newspaper, and after a month or so, the leaves will dry off and you just pull them off, and then you've got the bulbs, which you can plant at any time until the end of October, because they'll just be dormant. You can't do that with snowdrops because they don't like drying out, but you could do that with daffodils, they don't mind at all. And that's what commercial growers do. There's a bit of clay there. One here, and that little one could perhaps go in there, and just put all that over it, and just lightly press it down. Another one there. And they take fine with flowers as well. They just take quite easily. Just got to remember to give them a water. So I put those in there like that. There's another method I use for planting them when I'm doing a new bit of landscape, woodland or hedgerow like here. So we've got a tree and some topsoil slop here. So just put that up a bit, and then put this wet mud in here like that. And this is like really nice topsoil mixed with water, just so it's really pliable and I can make it into the shape I want it to be. Hopefully I'll have enough to do this whole bit here, covering up the tree roots here, and along like that, making this nice little slope. And then here, I think that should be enough. Whoa! Put that back in there, and smooth that over like that, all the way along there, and just make sure it's stable. That can go there. Right, that's really squishy and pliable, so you can plant these with ease, and I won't need to water them either. So just plonk one in there, just deep enough to cover up to the white bits, and another one there, and one there. There. So that's much quicker doing it that way with a wet slop, but not always possible or practical, but if it is, that's just a really easy way to do them. So they are a really nice kind of very early spring flower. They do come up before most of the cultivated daffodils. The cultivated daffodils seem to mostly come up kind of just after them, so it's like just precedes them. So snowdrops first, then these daffodils, and also some cultivated very early ones. And then it's spring, you know, this is like the beginning of the spring. If you think snowdrops are like pre-spring, and then when the wild daffodils come up, it's spring then. And what I find is that when the daffodils finish, the trees start to come out. I mean, they take a long time to come out properly, but they start to come out kind of as the daffodils are finishing, and then by the time the wild bluebells are flowering, the trees have got their leaves then, so it's kind of nice. So I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you press the little me, which is somewhere down there, then you can see all my other videos. And if you have any questions, please ask, and I shall see you next time.